Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Today I'm going to make this really pretty Happy Easter wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm going to start by adding pipe cleaners to my wire frame. This is a 14-inch wire frame from Dollar Tree, and I'm just using some white pipe cleaners just because I'm doing all white mesh. I'm going to add a pipe cleaner to each crossbar on the center, and I go over 2 bars and I twist it 3 times. And then once I finish the inside, I'm going to pick a random crossbar on the outside, going over 2 bars, twisting 3 times. And then I lay the pipe cleaners along the frame, and where the pipe cleaners end is where I add my next one. And I'll do this going all the way around the wreath. And it should line up once you finish your last pipe cleaner. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal, as long as it's not too off. I'm going to add this 21-inch white iridescent metallic mesh to the base. And I'm just going to attach it with a zip tie. I'm just picking a crossbar that's to the left of the pipe cleaner. And then I like to use zip ties to attach it because it's really secure. And it's not really important exactly where you attach it, just as long as it's to the frame. And then I'll just trim everything away. And you don't have to use these really long zip ties either. That's just what I have on hand for the clear ones. I like to make poofs on the base just to add height to my wreaths. And I'm doing 12-inch poofs. And I'm just using the mat underneath to help me measure. I go from 6 to 18 just because that's where my mesh is at in my hand and where my mat falls. But you can start at 1 if you like to. And I'm just twisting the pipe cleaner once and then fluffing my poof as I go. I normally only use half of a roll of mesh when I'm doing this method. So one 21-inch roll of mesh will do 2 wreath bases. If you wanted to do a full poof method, you would probably add more pipe cleaners and use more mesh. And you can also, once you're done with the regular poofs, you can go in between and add. I can show you all that if you'd like. Alright, so once I finish the outside poofs, I'm going to go to the closest pipe cleaner on the inside and add my mesh into it. And this just pulls the mesh to the center of the wreath. And then I'll just continue going around making my 12-inch poofs. And then once I get back to the beginning, I open that same zip tie that I used to begin the mesh in the center, and then just add the end of it. I hope that makes sense. Alright, once I'm done, I'll trim it away and push it through to the back. And then again, I like to secure it with a zip tie. And I'm pulling really tight. I don't want it to slide out. And then I'll just trim everything away again. I couldn't decide with this wreath if I wanted to add color, if I just wanted it to stay white. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do all white and see what it looks like. And I actually ended up loving it way more than I thought I was going to. And it really makes the ribbon pop off of the wreath. I'm cutting my mesh at 24 inches, and I'm going to do 14 pieces of that. And then I like to put something heavy on the end, and then I'll just gather all of the mesh together. It's kind of like accordion folding. You just use the back fingers, your thumbs, to hold the mesh, and then your front fingers gather everything together. And then I'll open the pipe cleaner and add my ruffle, and I try to get it as centered as possible so my ruffle is nice and uniform. And then I'll overlap the ends of the mesh to make a circle. This also hides any fraying. And again, I'm only twisting once because I'm going to add ribbon. See, I open my tie and I add in my mesh. And I'll twist once, and I'll give it a really tight twist because I'm not going to open it again. That's what it looks like when it's done. I'll go around and do a ruffle in each tie. And these are the ribbons I'm going to use. I thought they matched the sign so well. I found them on Craft Outlet, and I decided to buy really big rolls of this because I have several of those signs. I picked them up at Walmart last Easter when they were only 25 cents, so I went a little overboard. And you can use this ribbon with lots of other things like spring and summer. I like to use my piece of cardboard to cut my ribbon, and I'll wrap it around 7 times. And then I'll cut either end. I did 14 of each ribbon because I wanted 3 colors in each tie. And once I cut them away, I'm going to dovetail the ends. See how good they match the little bunnies? I thought they were so perfect. Now I'm just going to quickly show you how I stack my ribbon. For this wreath, I didn't change up the stacking order, and I basically just stacked them in the order of the bunnies on the sign. The only thing I changed was as I'm adding the ribbon, I'm fluffing it different in each section. I tried to make a pattern, but sometimes I would forget what I had already done, so I just kind of went with it. You can't really tell what's, unless you stare at it and count which colors are different, which I did not do. I just fold my ribbon in half to find the center, and I pinch it where it creases, and then I add it into my pipe cleaner, and I'm going to twist 3 times now because I'm done adding things. And then I'll use a glue stick or a pin to roll down the center pipe cleaners, and then I'll fluff my ribbon. So when I have 3 ribbons, I like to make an X out of 2 of the ribbons, and then the other ribbon goes straight across. So in this case, there's a yellow, part of the X, a pink part of the X, and then the blue goes straight across. And like I said, as I went through, I changed up how I fluffed the ribbons. But you could do them all exactly the same if you wanted to. And this, formula or this method of making this wreath, you can use with any kind of colors of mesh and any kinds of ribbon. And normally I do the outside ribbons different than the inside because I like the way it lays, where I do like a bow shape on the outside. But since I had 3 ribbons on the outside, I just did them the exact same way that I did the inside. So all of the ribbons are fluffed the same. It makes like a starburst. Yeah, I really like how this popped off of the wreath. And I was worried this ribbon was going to be, I don't know if y'all have ever gotten the cloth ribbon where the ends of it, when you cut it, they fray apart. I was worried that was going to happen, and I was just going to do a bunch of bows. This one only does it if you mess with the ribbon too much and pull on it. And so after I learned that, I trimmed that away and I didn't do it anymore. So since I'm going to be making several of these wreaths, I wanted to measure out how much I would need for each bow. So I had already made the bow, and I took it apart and measured it, and I needed 60 inches of ribbon. So I'm going to do, each color is going to have 60 inches of ribbon, and I'm doing the loops the exact same size. Normally I go smaller as I'm going up the bow, but this time I made all the loops the same size. And here I'm just measuring out the 60 inches. And here I'm going to show you that even I mess up sometimes when I'm dovetailing, and I dovetail a lot. See, I did it wrong. So there, I fixed it. And then I just used what I've already got there to pretty much figure out how to add things. I did make this toe a little bit too small, but I go back and fix it. And then I just make the loops the exact same size. And so you can make them smaller as you go up if you'd like. I like to change things up every once in a while and do things different. And it's also nice when you're going through to start fluffing your bow, moving your loops where you want them to be. And see here, I fixed the tail. It was way too short. So it's nice about the bow dabber. You don't have to worry about trying to fix it once you're completely done. You can see, because it's in front of you, it's not all bunched in your hand. You see here, I decided I wanted to move my loops out of the way so I could see These colors just look so nice together. And I'm doing 2 loops on each side of each color. And you could do this bow by hand. It's the exact same size loops all the way through, so it's not that difficult. And now I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner to gather all of the ribbon together. And see where the crease is in the middle? That's where I'll move my pipe cleaner. I'm sorry, my zip tie. And now I'm going to add my pipe cleaner to the back, and that's what I use to attach it to the wreath. I'm going to go through and make sure none of my loops are too small or too long, and that my tails are the way I like them. And then I tighten the zip tie, and that's when I'll just continue going through and fluffing the bow. I normally cut this part out because it's doing the exact same thing over and over again. But I thought since I've never showed you, I'll just quickly show you what I do. And it's the same thing over and over again. You stick your hand in and shake it out. Stick your hand in and shake it out. And I just do it over and over and over again. So you see, it takes me a while to get the bow the way I like it. And I normally, like I said, I normally edit that out so you don't have to see me doing it. If you ever want me to do a video on how to fluff a bow, I can do that. Just let me know in the comments below. Okay, so this sign had a rope on it, but I didn't want to keep that. So I'm just going to staple these pipe cleaners to the edges. I'm doing it on the edges because I didn't want the staples to go all the way through. And I'll do one on the top and the bottom. And then I'm just going to feed it to the back and wrap it around the frame. I will do the same thing for the other pipe cleaner on the sign and the bow. If anyone is interested, y'all can find me on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram at Southern Wreaths More. I'm also on Facebook at Southern Wreaths. I also have a wreath group on Facebook. It's at Southern Wreaths and More. If you make any of my wreaths or use any of my methods, I would love to see what you've done on my group. And all those links are in the description below. But that's it. That's how I made my really cute and simple Happy Easter wreath. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for watching, and if y'all learned anything today or liked my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.